Alright, watch fans, it's time for another Hotness Pick. Hope you're excited. I know I am, especially because once again, Wing Liang, the Mad Sifu, the controller of Android USA, has popped up with another great deal. So you've got kind of four options to work with here. Two different color choices, but in different sizes. So the one that you're looking at now, by the way, this is the Intercross that's there. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first option, it's going to be 45 millimeters in case diameter, and that is the one that you're looking at now. Now, both of these will give you two dial options. There is a 50 millimeter that I'm going to show you in a minute. You've got a charcoal black dial, which is what you're looking at here, and then you've got a blue dial, and I'll show you that in the larger size in just a moment. So 45 millimeters, blue dial, or charcoal black like what you're seeing here, or 50 millimeters in the same dial options. Other than that, they are identical. And if I can pan the camera over without getting Mr. Shaky Hand going here, too bad. Here is the blue dial option that has been done in the larger size. This is about right at 50 millimeters in case diameter. The only other real difference that you're going to find is the bracelet. The bracelet on this larger one is 24 millimeters wide, whereas the smaller is 22 millimeters. A little more manageable. And so are the straps. Oh, did I say straps? Why, yes, I did say straps. Because for the ridiculously low price of $76, and yes, that's American dollars, you're going to get this watch, which is an automatic, and we'll dive into that in the more detailed review. But you're also going to get a strap with each one of these watches included. So for instance, with the larger piece, with the blue dial, here is the strap that you're going to get. Now I'm going to get more into detail on the strap because there's some extra stuff going on. But as you can see, you have the inserts that have been done on this. Let me get a little bit of that glare off of there. With the Android logo, pebbled genuine leather, very thick as you can see. So two looks in one, but keep reading down below. You're going to get a very special deal. For an additional $19, you're going to get three straps, extra straps, in either the 24 or 22 millimeter size range, and those will be available when you click through over to the Android excuse me, the Android website to make your purchase. They will be there available to you. Here is what you will receive with that charcoal black dial, which is going to give you the very bright racing red contrast stitching. But for an additional $19, you will get three straps, and there's a great high-res image of that down below this. But just very quickly, you're going to get a black simulated carbon fiber, which means it's got that weave. Check out the picture, you'll see what I'm saying. It's going to have red stitching similar to what you're seeing here, but the strap's very different because this pebbled texture that you see that's been done right here is going to be in that weave pattern, that basket weave pattern that looks like carbon fiber. The second one you're going to get, which I really like, is this, he calls it light brown, and that really doesn't do it justice. Check out the image, but it's like a tan or a sand look that's going on there, and a gorgeous bronze contrast stitching that's been done on there. And then the last of the three straps is going to be a black crocodile embossed strap with gray stitching, and that one's very fetching as well, if I may say so myself. So look, here's the deal. You buy one watch, comes on the bracelet, you get the extra strap, red or blue, depending on the dial color. Then for an extra $19, you're going to get three more straps to go with your watch. 5 looks in one for under $100 in a freaking automatic. Now, that's a deal. So again, blue or charcoal black in the 50 millimeter that you see right there. And then back over to the first one that we looked at, 45 millimeters with a 22 millimeter wide strap. Everything else is identical, both dial colors, the extra strap, the add-on straps, everything that you want to do. And by the way, ladies, yes, I don't know if you'd wear this on the bracelet, but you can certainly get away with it on that leather strap for a variety of reasons. We'll dig into all of that in the detailed video review. Also, the interchangeability that is on this is super, super cool, so I hope you guys will continue to watch the video. I'll demonstrate that for you and show it to you. It is awesome the way that Wing put this together. So that's it. Let's jump into the detailed review. Okay, for a little more detailed review of the Android Intercross, a little masterpiece that Wing put together, and you'll see why here in a minute. Let's go ahead and talk details on this timepiece. I'll be as brief and as quick as I possibly can, which means probably 20 minutes. Hey, but there's a lot to talk about with this watch, so yeah, at least we've got the time to do it. So this is really very, very cool. This watch first came out, the first generation. What you're seeing here is the third generation, which, by the way, is going away. Unless there are any left over, this is going to be the last opportunity you have to pick up this generation of the Intercross. It is time, the Mad Sifu Wing Liang has decided it is time to move on to newer and more incredible designs. But it came out in like mid-late 1993, I think, and obviously was a much smaller size then than what you see now in either one of these opportunities. And it took him about a year to come up with this. So the first design, is about 21 years old. And then, Wing had the idea for the interchangeability of the bracelet to the straps on this, which, I will demonstrate for you in a moment and do my best to do that justice. But you're seeing really a very well-established timepiece within Wing's collection. And the reason it took him about a year is because of the interchangeability that has been done on this. So as I said, now I'm using the larger version of the timepiece, approximately 50 millimeters. And remember, when we're measuring timepieces, when you hear size, it is not this, right? It is this. Or if you want to say this, that's okay too. It's, obviously the same thing as what you're seeing here. That is the case diameter, okay? Now, everything that I say about this watch will be true of the smaller 45 millimeter size as well. There is no difference other than case diameter and bracelet width, 24 millimeters wide on this. So what you're going to see is a very cool way that he's done the dial. This is obviously, again, the blue option. It is a darker blue, as you'll see on the HD video here. It goes from almost a black. There is a radiance that's done on the very center portion of the dial. So you can see, for instance, right where I'm pointing, it is lighter. There's some of that radiance. And then as you move away from that, it goes almost black in the way that it's been done. Now, as you move to the outside portion of that, you're going to see what's called the racetrack, and that's those concentric circles that have been done around this, several of those. Then moving even further out to this chapter ring, which is raised off of the main dial, it is done in a slightly different color of blue. So as it plays in the light from the radiance, and also the light is affected by the racetrack or these concentric circles, it gives you a very unique look, whether you're doing it in the blue or in that charcoal black. Now, the hour hand, the minute hand, and then all of your markings, your hour and minute markings that have been done on the chapter ring are done in superluminova. If you're new to timepieces, I know most of you know me from when I was on television doing watches, but superluminova is going to be the brightest of the photoluminescent paint or paste that is used in the industry. You really have to move into tritium gas tubes to get brighter. And as you can tell from that metallic red second hand, the very smooth sweep on this indicates that it is an automatic, meaning there is no battery that is powering this timepiece. Wearing it or winding it via the crown, which is right there, is what is going to keep this wound. So it is a more expensive movement, and in particular this is the NH35A caliber movement that's being used inside of this. So you're getting several additions to that. We'll talk about that in a moment, but it is a dual winding system, meaning that rotor will wind clockwise and counterclockwise. It is a hacking movement, so you pull the push-pull crown out, it will freeze that movement. You can set it very, very accurately, or if you want to see how well your movement is doing, you can set it to the atomic clock and then track it over however long of a period that you would like, and it is windable via the crown. So some great differences. This is from SII, from Seiko, a part of Seiko, distributed via TMI. Great movement, have several in my collection, have never had personally a single issue. It is very durable, it is very accurate, and it is very reliable. It does have an exhibition case back, impact resistant, hardened mineral crystal. Again, give you the old tap, tap, tap there. Show you, there's the metal tool, not going to scratch that, or very difficult, let me rephrase that, very difficult to scratch, so we'll go with that. But just an awesome timepiece. Solid 316L stainless steel construction throughout the case and the bracelet as well. 24 jewel, 3-hand, automatic movement, superluminova interchangeable system. Boom. Now, talking about the interchangeability. This is where it starts to get cool. So this outside bezel that you see being done here is fixed, sort of. And here's the reason why I say sort of. The watch itself is a sandwich style case construction, meaning it is several pieces, actually 3 pieces. So think like your sandwich, right? You've got the bottom layer of bread, right? Then on top of that piece of bread you put your whatever it is that you like as far as your sandwiches happen to go, and then on top of that you put your next piece of bread, the second piece of bread. So you're sandwiching between the 2 pieces of bread. So this case is going to work the same way. And see each one of these screws? These are fully functional screws. Unlike some other brands, they're not decorative screws. These are fully functional screws that are a part of that system. Now, let me turn this to the side so you can get a little better idea of what it is that I'm talking about, and I'll pull that out a little bit as well. So, see this piece right here? You can see a little lip that's done here. This center portion is floating in an assembly that contains not only this piece, but a ball bearing and spring system. And what happens is, and I'll show this in detail, I'll physically do this for you, but you rotate this piece over top of the regular watch case that you see down below. That's this piece from this line down, right? And under the fixed bezel. And what happens is, see this lug? This mono lug, T-lug, or not really, not a true T-lug. If you wanted to call it one, I wouldn't argue. But a mono lug, meaning this single piece, not the 2 pieces on the outside. So a very non-traditional look to this. But what happens is you're going to see this actually rotate out, and then the bracelet lifts off its little platform underneath there. And again, I will fully demonstrate this for you. But it is very, very cool. Now, why is this important, and especially at this price point? Well, because it adds about 30% in cost to the timepiece. It took Wing a year from the time that he conceived it in that crazy little mind of his to be able to bring it out. And this is something, by the way, he does in-house in his own facility. I know some of you may be new to Android. Wing owns his own facilities in Hong Kong. Okay, I've talked about this before. You've seen it on the web pages that I've done. And that's important to note because he's not farming this out to someone else. This is his people, his trained people. Now, before we dive into all the rest of that, I want you to notice the bracelet. Very thick, as I said, 316L stainless steel construction. It is a 2-piece link bracelet. Okay, let me turn that back around here so you can see. Now this piece here is sometimes referred to, and either way is correct, an I-link or an H-link. When you look at it this way, it looks like a very wide H, right? Or if you look at it the other way, it looks like a capital letter I, right? This is a separate piece. This is solid 316L stainless steel brick, no folded over, hollowed links, or any of that other kind of stuff. That gives you a little bit of an angled two-tone finish. Almost every single aspect of this watch is either brush or slightly frosted. I mean, you get just a little bit of a difference, as you can see, in the texture that has been done on this timepiece. Alright, weight on this is going to be, on the bracelet, unsized, about 310 grams, so it is a fairly heavy timepiece. Now the smaller watch, the 45 millimeter, will be a little bit lighter in weight. It's 100 meters in water resistance, so while not a dive watch, and it's certainly not designed for that, especially when on a leather bracelet, but surface level water activities, getting caught in the rain, knucklehead friend pushes you in the pool, whatever, you're going to be good to go. As I've already said, hardened, impact resistant mineral crystal that's been done on that, and again, the Superluminova with the 24 jewel NH35A caliber movement inside of that. Now, we talked about, about 15-16 millimeters or so in thickness from what you saw there. Now, very, very quickly, because I am trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter, I'm going to kind of get my fat fingers in there. And remember, I'm behind the camera here, so it's a little bit difficult for me to do. It is going to be very easy for you to do because you don't have to worry about the camera. But what I want to show you is how easy this is to change this out, and what an literally ingenious system Wing has put together here on the Intercross. So let me take it off my cool little watch stand here, like so. Now, remember, sandwich style configuration. Watch these pieces on either side. I'm going to turn it this way. What I'm going for here is this center piece. I'm going to grip the center piece and turn it. Now, first of all, let me bring this in here. You see that tiny little gap right there? That's to give a little flexibility to the bracelet, but that's the ledge that the bracelet actually hooks onto. Now, one of the other things I didn't mention, you may have heard on when I was doing the TV shows or on other watches, this monolug or T-lug design. Notice the drape. Let me change. You can only see it on the one side. Sorry. There we go. See how it drops at virtually a 90-degree angle? What does that mean to you? A better fit on the wrist. Larger wrist or smaller wrist, it goes from 90 degrees out this way to, I mean, depending on how you're looking at it, to dropping 90 degrees straight down. So it's a very cool system, and it also has a comfort factor or a fit factor, that's going to fit into that. So what I'm going to do is grip this center portion and just turn. See how that piece is coming at you? Ta-da! See, there's the lug. We turn it around this way, there you go. But what happens is the bracelet is just sitting in there. So if I lift, ta-da, like so. Now, because this is the blue dial, I'm going to drop in like so, and notice the way that this is put together, and it is going to drop in like so, and then I just close it back, and because of the ball bearing and the spring system, it clicks right into place. Everything designed with that 316L stainless steel. I hope this all works on the video, but as you can see, you can go from this to this. See what I'm talking about? Just that easy. And then when you want to swap it out again, because you're going to do that. See, now look, I hate interchangeable systems because I don't like the little fork right here. See this little tool that I'm sticking in there? This is what, for those of you that are new, you use to change out a strap or a bracelet on most systems. Now, granted, some of them do have the pin system that you can grab with a fingernail, but not usually on a bracelet. So what happens is you have to turn the watch this way, and then there's a little gap, and then you have to take this and wiggle it around. You have to catch right on the ledge of the spring bar that's inside of that, and then you have to pull down and get one side, and then if you're not, I can't tell you how many of those little spring bars go flying out, and then once they hit the carpet, that's it. You're done until you vacuum, and then it freaks you out because right? You know, everybody's done that. Oh, and hey, while we're here, let me get some light on that movement so you can see the exhibition case back that's been done here. There is your SII movement, the NH35A. And remember when I was saying it would rotate or wind in either direction? That's this guillotine looking piece here. That is the rotor. It will spin either clockwise or counterclockwise to wind it as you're wearing it. It's a more efficient movement. It has a double set of bearings here to be able to accomplish that. Most automatic watches, with the exception of like the Swiss-made ETA 2824 or the Swiss-made Sellita SW200, only wind in one direction. Those two are like this one and wind both directions. And most of your Asian-based movements, which this is, remember, Japanese, one of the largest movement manufacturers in the world, kind of the ETA of Japan, if you will, would only wind counterclockwise. It free spins in the other direction. This winds both ways. It is more efficient. Now, I'm going to turn this back over and put the bracelet back together to show you one more time how cool this system is. So again, I'm just going to reach down here and I'm going for, oops, let me grab the little tool there. Again, what I'm talking about is this center piece. Now, I'm going to show it to you this way first because I want you to notice, see where the 10 and the 20 are that's been you know, etched into or machined into that fixed bezel? That's, as I turn this, oops, and again, it's much easier for you to do. I'm having to reach over the camera. Now notice the 10 and the 20 are in the same position. Oop, I just dropped, sorry. But notice this floats and rotates directly underneath. How cool that is. So we just put the bracelet and drop it in there. We put the bracelet and drop it in here. We turn it back and you'll feel it click into place. That's how you know it's set. And then obviously, you know, it's at the top and the bottom. This is an extremely cool design. I absolutely love the ingenuity that goes into this. Now here's the other thing about this. I know a fair amount about watches. I don't know of another watch that does this. Now if there is, send me an email, info@hotnesspicks.com. Let me know. But I've not seen one. You know, as far as I know, and if there is, let me back up and requalify that. I'd like to know when they came out with it, because Wing came out with this design in 93, 94. I think he's got them beat as far as implementing that idea. As long as we're here, just very, very quickly, I forgot to mention there is a date display that you'll see, standard date display at the 3, and then going with the name. I don't know if you can really, there, well, I'm trying to keep the glare off of it. See the cross, as in Intercross? Yeah, nice little addition that's been done on that. And let's wrap up very, very quickly. Let me show you some interesting, cool stuff about the straps, and then we'll finish this up, and you can get on with your purchase. So I'm just going to set this watch down, and I'm going to go back to the strap. So you've got a triple bevel cut insert that has been done on this, again, in the solid 316L stainless steel. You can see the cuts there and there. So you've got angle 1, 2, and 3. That's what I mean by the triple bevel cut, all done at angles. It is machined with the Android name logo that's been done on there. Blue contrast stitching, as you can see, this is going to be with the blue dial in either size. Red contrast stitching on the charcoal black. Then you've got the solid 3/16L stainless steel, almost a link, that I-link or H-link, remember? So there's the I, and then if you were to look at it this way, there's your H. Then you've got the pin, again 3/16L stainless steel, locked into place, that is going to drop onto the little ledge, for lack of a better term. I don't know a particular watchmaking term for that, for the interchangeability of the system. Of course, standard buckle that's been done on that, dual keeper system, one fixed into place, one floating. And then, as I've always told you, how do you know you're getting a good strap? Well, first of all, look at the thickness of the strap. Very flexible, out of the box, wearability, very little break-in time. But again, going back to what I was going to say a second ago, how have I always told you to look for a good strap? By checking the backside. Notice the stitching. Very, very evenly, straightly stitched, and then evenly spaced stitching on both sides. And then you'll see these. These are what's holding those inserts in place. Now, they look like screws. I have not tried to unscrew them. I do not recommend that you try, in case they are actual screws. I do believe these are rivets designed to look like screws, but don't try to unscrew them. Don't try to find out. It won't end well. Trust me. Just don't do it. But you're going to get that and that level of quality on all the straps, because remember, each watch comes with its own strap, and then for $19 more you're going to get 3 more awesome looking straps. So what does that come down to? Well, that's going to mean, again, for about 95 bucks, under $100, you know, because there is you know, some mandatory taxes in some states and shipping and all that kind of stuff, but for under $100, and again, this is the 45mm smaller version done in the charcoal black, you are going to get 5 different looks. You're going to get 1 look on the bracelet, 1 look on the strap that comes with it, and then an additional 3 for a total of 5 that will go with your timepiece. With an automatic, with Superlume Nova, with a genuine wingling design, with a very comfortable T-bar or mono lug design, meaning single lug design, with the sandwich style case that does cost more, takes longer to build, and is a very cool system, which means you don't have to break out the stupid toolkit and be like me trying to figure out where you last left something like this that you said, oh, I'm going to set this right here for just a minute while I go do something else, and then you forget to do it, and then when you need it, you have no idea where in the heck the stupid thing is. Don't need it. You rotate that inner piece in the sandwich style configuration, and within a matter of seconds, bang, you go from a sporty look to a dress look. And again, there's that sandwich style configuration. So that's it. And, oh, by the way, it is going away, meaning this watch model is not going to be made any longer. As long as I'm here, and I've got a couple of seconds left, I almost forgot to do this. You guys have asked for the obligatory wrist shots, so I will try to show both of them to you very, very quickly. I'm just putting that on as I talk. So here's the larger. Now my wrist is, now remember, this is an unsized bracelet here, but my wrist is right at or just over 8 inches. So you can see how that plays on the wrist. So I'll pop this off and try to show you. Standard diver's flip lock safety clasp that's been done, by the way. Dual push button release, full tang. Micro adjustments that have been done on the side of that. So very secure, very comfortable on the wrist. I'm just going to pop that out of the way very, very quickly. And of course I went the wrong direction. Now we're just going to show you the 45. And by the way, I want you to notice this on the wrist. Again, unsized bracelet. That is more than wearable. I'm like the king of the oversized timepieces. 48, 50, 52, 55. I've got, you know, that the Sea Hunter, the Arsenal, all of those in the super full size. And yes, I still love the oversized timepieces. But just the other night, I went out to go play some poker, was wearing a 45 millimeter timepiece. So this is very doable on the wrist. Ladies, here's your piece, especially on those straps. And again, scroll down and look at the picture. Unfortunately, I don't have the additional strap set here to be able to show you. So that is my fault, but I've got a gorgeous high-def image. So there you go. $76 for the watch, which is ridiculous in and of itself because it comes on the bracelet and on the strap. And then for a measly $19 more, add 3 more straps, 5 looks for under $100 on your doorstep from Wing Liang. I can't wait to see what this guy does next. Every time, you know, I talk to him like several times a week. He's just going crazy with this Hotness Pick stuff. But we're having a lot of fun. You guys are benefiting. Holidays are coming up. Christmas, right? Whole 9 yards. Time to be able to maybe pick up a few gifts on the cheap as far as price goes. So anyway, thanks for taking a look on this. Get your orders in quickly. I expect these to go very, very fast. So make sure you get the color option or options that you want. Thanks for taking a look. Got some great stuff coming up in the rest of the month of October. Make sure you get on the early notification email list. Those of you that subscribe find out about the deals at least an hour ahead of time, and it ensures that you're able to get your orders in and get your watch because you took the time to take action and sign up for the email list. So that's it. Thanks for having a look. Enjoy the timepiece. Got another Hotness Pick coming soon.